Hey, what's up, you guys? I hope you all have been staying healthy and safe. I'm just going to jump right on into it. Alright, so a method that I have found really useful from this class was specifically the analyzing nonverbals and increasing my active and reflective listening. I do have a pretty stressful job, which that has helped me a lot to diffuse stressful situations and arguments or disagreements I have at work with customers and truck drivers. By analyzing their nonverbals and actively listening to their issues, I can kind of diffuse a situation and understand how they're feeling in the situation. It's also helped me in my personal life as well. When I have a disagreement with one of my loved ones, family member, friend, significant other, we're able to calmly discuss something. I can analyze their body language, understand how they're feeling by using, I understand you're feeling like this. I can hear you're feeling stressed out, frustrated. So that has helped me a lot in that aspect. I plan to do a little bit more research and find out more effective ways to help me be able to communicate that information with my loved ones and friends. I'm going to jump right on into the article I decided to review. I have the notes on my laptop right here. Alright. So the article I chose to do for one of my article critiques was, it's called The Reid Technique of Interviewing and Interrogation by Ed Senow. This article describes the Reid technique and how one of its main purposes is to pick up on the changing nonverbals such as eye contact, body language, tension to specific questions, and posture. The technique also focuses heavily on the freely giving of excess information without being asked for it or probing for it. Another aspect is understanding why the person or people have committed the crimes, and a crucial part of this technique is, and this is a quote from the actual article, the suspect is going to be given the choice between a really good choice and a much worse, less acceptable reason for having committed the crime. Accepting either is an admission of guilt, and if it's properly timed, it works. So the main theme described overall in this article is using the technique for suspects that have committed crimes with little to no physical evidence to get an actual confession out of them. And I think what separates this technique from other type of interrogation techniques is they're given two choices and they have to choose one, and either kind of entraps them. And so it kind of starts off with non-threatening questions and moves on. I have the steps listed out. Alright, so the technique consists of a three-phase process, beginning with the fact analysis, followed by the behavioral analysis interview. So it's a non-accusatory interview designed to develop investigation and behavioral information, and it's followed by the Reid 9-step interrogation where that two-choice process comes in. I'll give a quick rundown about the 9 steps to the last phase. Alright, so the first step of the last phase is positive confrontation. Advise the suspect that the evidence has led the police to the individual as a suspect, and in this step it gives the suspect an early opportunity to explain why the offense took place. So it lets them have a choice or a chance to admit to the crime and why it happened. Number 2 is try to shift the blame away from the suspect to another person or set of circumstances. So you kind of gain their trust a little bit by not blaming them right away. Number 3 is try to minimize the frequency of suspect denials. And then comes directly after this is the accused will often give a reason why he or she did not or could not have committed the crime. And then the next step is to reinforce sincerity to ensure that the suspect is receptive. Number 6, this is when, if all the steps were done properly and everything goes as planned, the suspect will become quieter and listen, and you're going to move the theme of discussion towards offering alternative. If the suspect cries at this point, you infer guilt. Number 7 is, this is the two-choice alternative question. Either way, accepting one of them does kind of lead towards guilt. Number 8 is lead the suspect to repeat the admission of guilt in front of the witnesses and develop information to establish the validity of the confession. And then number 9 is the whole documentation of the suspect admission or confession, and have him or her prepare a recorded statement, audio, video, or written. And that is a lot of information. Overall, about this whole article though, I did really enjoy how in-depth it was in describing what specifically to look for in an interview and or interrogation. But it did touch heavily upon the nonverbals and effective listening, which is super, super, super important. It did really only use this in extreme circumstances for interrogation in the article, so I would have liked if it would have gave more daily situations for like police officers or even just regular like civilians doing stuff. But overall, I think this article was a definite should read for anybody going into careers that do require a pretty good sense of communication and that deals with difficult people. Alright, and the last point for this presentation, I want to touch heavily upon what I overall learned in the class. I learned a lot of communication techniques, whether it's with my loved ones, strangers, children, adults, or not adults, people older than me. And I really, really, really liked how in-depth the nonverbal discussion of the class went. Also the different listening techniques. I've definitely, as I said before, I've been trying to really incorporate those more into my life. And also, when I'm at a function, I have a really hard time with knowing how to leave that like party or celebration or anything when I have to leave, so I'm usually there for an hour or two after I want to left. That's how long it takes to close my conversations. And I have been researching with the book in class and independently more ways to close out conversations, and I found that really, really helpful in my personal life. And the active listening and listening empathetically, being able to sense the other person's feelings, being able to act upon those, knowing that you hear that they're feeling frustrated. Overall, this has been a very enjoyable class. I'm super glad I've taken it. I did not need it to graduate. It's not a required course. I just thought, I took the professor before, I love her, and I just thought I would take it again just because I thought it'd be helpful, and it really was. And overall, I definitely really enjoyed the class.